The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Oh, hell no!
Whatever.
The following program contains opinions expressed by the Dead Zone. If you find this broadcast offensive, lighten up, candy ass.
What?
Oh my gosh.
It's a radio show.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Power up request received. Initiating systems. Powering up transmitters.
Welcome to the Dead Zone.
Wait a minute.
Hear this.
Dead Zone, October 3rd. Actor, producer, director, and writer, our old buddy George Lunsford will be with us tonight. And we're going to introduce a new segment. It's kind of like the old Metal Minute was, but it's more like we're going to introduce new bands, the singers, the players, play a few of their tunes, old ones and new ones. It's going to be really cool. But first, Michelle with the paranormal news. Did I say it right? Paranormal news.
Paranormal news.
Hey guys, so I've been gone for a while, haven't done any recordings for quite a while now, but I'm back and I'm on my favorite website, Coast to Coast AM, where I found an article titled, What Happened When I Wore a Cursed Crystal for a Week. Now, this was dated September 1st, and this was taken off of the website Vice. And it talks about how there are horror stories that are being shared on TikTok, saying that Moldavite is a cursed crystal and that horrible things will happen if you wear it. So this person decided to put it to the test and wear Moldavite for a week and a ring. When Moldavite sales skyrocketed over the past year, Michelle Ferris knew right away that it was because of TikTok. For a long time before TikTok, it was not popular except among specific collectors, the Seattle crystal shop owner told me. At the peak of the Moldavite craze, Ferris went from selling one Moldavite every few weeks to selling about 5 pieces a day. In the world of crystal healing, Moldavite is a tektite known for heralding powerful transformations that will invite things into people's lives and put people on their highest path. When Ferris first started wearing Moldavite, she experienced a huge surge of energy, she said. Apparently, this feeling is so common that there's a name for it. It's called Moldavite flush. The purported power of Moldavite may be how it gained initial traction on TikTok. Then came the trove of videos that have given the gemstone an especially bad rap for stirring shit in people's lives. In these videos, TikTokers tearfully document terrible news supposedly caused by Moldavite, from car crashes to severed relationships and even death of family members. Stephanie Porth, a student in New York, posted one such TikTok video. In the 6 months since she started wearing a Moldavite ring, her dog died and she lost some important people in her life. Porth's video, which has racked up 3.5 million views since June, naturally rattled some dog owners in the comments section, but she doesn't actually believe that Moldavite is cursed. Porth noted that a lot of people saw her video as a negative thing, but they don't understand the situation that's surrounding it, she said. In fact, Porth thinks Moldavite has served its purpose of introducing more positive things into her life. Her family adopted a rescue dog, and she made a new friend. Keegan, a 19-year-old in Nashville who prefers to just go by her first name to keep her professional life separate from her TikTok persona, shares similar sentiments. Moldavite getting a bad reputation is also kind of my fault, and I do feel bad about it, she said. In April, the TikToker made a series of viral videos about the bad things that happened to her after wearing her Moldavite earrings. No more boyfriend, she declared in tears in one TikTok video shot in her car wearing her Moldavite earring. That video has since been viewed 6.8 million times. No more parent, she announced in another video with her standing in front of a hearse. That one got a whopping 10 million views. Keegan told me that she was having a breakdown in her car after ending things with her boyfriend when she suddenly recalled the Moldavite is cursed meme. So she whipped out her phone and made a TikTok video about it. Similarly, the video about her stepfather's passing was a humorous way to cope with her loss. After her videos blew up, she found herself having to explain to panic-stricken viewers that Moldavite isn't actually jinxed. Her stepfather's health had been deteriorating because of brain cancer, and her relationship had been facing circumstantial challenges. I think about it a lot. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I admitted to the internet that I blamed all this on a rock, she confessed. I'm sorry if I just read that sounding kind of stupid. I apologize. The way that I joked about things gave it a negative reputation where people are like, it's going to kill everyone. I'm like, no, it won't do that. Now she sees Moldavite as a big inside joke among TikTokers for when something bad happens. Molly Donlin, a Reiki master and yoga teacher who incorporates crystal healing in her practice, wears Moldavite on a necklace almost every day. I see crystals as crossing guards helping you walk across the street to the next part of your life, she said, adding that crystals are not there to drop bombs in your life. I always like to describe the purpose of Moldavite is to help get you from where you are to your life's purpose, said Donlin. So it really supports you in making changes that are in alignment with your soul's calling. Donlin also thinks that a lot of the claims on TikTok are wildly exaggerated. Ferris, the crystal shop owner, agrees. Crystals, whether it's Moldavite or not, are never going to work against you, intentionally harm others, or cause devastating situations, she said. While crystal enthusiasts have defended Moldavite's cursed reputation, I was still itching to test it. Will it F up my life or stoke good fortune? I wanted to know. So I bought a Moldavite ring, fashioned it into a necklace pendant, and wore it for a week. Here's what happened. Day 1. My first day of wearing the Moldavite necklace was massively uneventful. Day 2. I went for a run with my Moldavite ring, and on my way back, I think I kicked a frog. In case the significance of this encounter isn't clear, I'm terrified of frogs. I didn't dare to look at the ground to confirm my fear and sprinted away in a moment of panic. I also tried and failed to pet a stray neighborhood cat. Pretty devastating for someone who likes to think of herself as an animal whisperer. Day 3. Again, nothing eventful happened to me on this day. My editor did call in sick, and while the cursed crystal didn't bring me mishaps, I did wonder if it was working its curse on the people around me. Day 4. Dinner with friends sent me into a spiral over COVID-19 paranoia because I had been suffering from a stubborn sore throat, and my friend was sharing stories of COVID-19 cluster at her workplace. That night, I decided to get tested at the doctor's clinic. Day 5. This weekend was supposed to be filled with morning walks, Zoom interviews, miscellaneous errands, and meetings with friends. It was gearing up to be lots of fun, but also scarily hectic. After taking a COVID-19 test that required me to be quarantined for about a week, almost all of my plans were wiped clean. For the first time since I can remember, my weekend was completely free from plans. I was homebound, of course, but free. My weekends, I realized, have been bursting at the seams with activities and errands, leaving me barely any time to just sit and simmer. This quarantine weekend was shaping up to be the rest and relaxation that I sorely needed. Day 6. By Sunday, I was well rested, but a little restless, which was just the right spur of motivation I needed to start making plans for a personal newsletter and podcast, and getting back into watercoloring. Basically all the projects that I keep brewing at the back of my mind, but never had the time or headspace to really consider. On this day, I also found out that I did not have COVID-19, which meant I had essentially canceled all my plans for nothing. I can't say I regret it, though. My idyllic weekend was amazing. I also couldn't help but imagine that this was perhaps the Moldavite's way of clearing my schedule. Day 7. Another uneventful day, the last before I took off my Moldavite ring. To be honest, I was kind of disappointed that nothing that extreme happened, or perhaps I need to give it more time. I think the difficulty with a week is that there are changes you might be too close to notice it, Donlin said when I told her about my experiment. Sometimes its effects are immediate, and sometimes you don't really notice much at all. But when you look back on your life, a year later or 6 months later, you realize, wow, a lot of things did change for the better. Stina Garbus, a professional psychic and longtime crystal healing enthusiast, told me that she believes crystals work more on your mood and experience rather than hitting you brick to face with unexpected changes. Moldavite especially can help those who have goals but have trouble achieving them. First, get a clear idea of your goal and the potential barriers. Then you can allow Moldavite to work its charm and get rid of those barriers, she said. So it's basically practicing more mindfulness, which is almost always a good idea. It's all about mindset and what you get out of your sessions when you're using your crystal, she said. I'd like to think that Moldavite helped me catch a breather over the weekend and forced me to get started on personal projects I've been procrastinating on. Even though my week-long experiment has come to an end, I'm inclined to keep my Moldavite on for a little while longer just to see what else it has in store for me. What's the worst that could happen?
Welcome to the Rift Radio Network right here on Blog Talk Radio, with shows 6 days a week, with Saturdays set aside for special events and special shows. Join us every night right here on Blog Talk Radio and be a part of the Rift Nation.
Hello. I found this week's article on phantomsandmonsters.com. This was published Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. It's titled Small Quadruped Humanoids Observed Along Dark Northern Wisconsin Country Road. A northern Wisconsin teen is with her boyfriend when she begins to experience panic attacks along a certain country road. Later, she observes several small, hairless humanoid creatures along the same road. And this is her account. This happened to me yesterday, Monday, May 3rd, and I'm still processing it. To preface, I live in northern Wisconsin in an area that has a large Ojibwe population. One thing I have learned from living here is if a native tells you something is wrong, you listen to them. They've been here longer than us, and they know what's going on. I'm a 16-year-old female and a junior in high school. Last night was my junior prom, and I went with my boyfriend. Because of COVID, the prom was hosted by parents a couple towns over in a small town hall. We had to drive, and my boyfriend picked me up. The highway that leads to this town is desolate and runs straight through a forest. It's about 15 miles long. This would be fine, but then we entered this specific area on the highway. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't scare easily. When we entered this area, I felt nothing but pure terror. We were surrounded by nothing but woods, and I felt like I was being hunted. There were these garbage bags on the side of the road. The first garbage bag was on the left side of the road. I pointed it out to my boyfriend, and he said that somebody probably dumped it there so that they wouldn't have to pay for garbage pickup. I believed him until we came upon 2 more garbage bags a couple of miles down the road. They were on opposite sides of the road, equal lengths apart. I shrugged it off. Then equal distances away, there were 2 more garbage bags. This continued for the remainder of the stretch of the road until the end, where there was a single garbage bag, now on the right. I told my boyfriend that the road was giving me a weird vibe, and he did his best to calm my anxieties. He thought I was worried because the road had a fast speed limit, 65 to 70, but it wasn't a fear like that. It was a primal fear. Something was there above me on the food chain. Everything was fine until we left the dance. Pulling out of the parking lot, there was a cop. The cop pulled onto the highway leading to this road when they saw us coming. They didn't use a turn signal, which was very illegal. The cops started acting very weird. While in front of us, they were swerving and kept hugging the line. Then right before we reached the road, the cop, with no warning, I may add, just stopped, did a U-turn not even 50 feet from our car, and hauled ass off the road. No sirens, no lights, not even an effing turn signal. My boyfriend and I were weirded out. It didn't help that this road was pitch black and the only light was his car's shitty high beams. We then entered the road, and again I was terrified. After passing the first garbage bag, the sense of primal fear returned. I wanted out. I started shaking and crying, and my boyfriend did his very best to comfort me. He suggested pulling over until I calmed down, but I refused. In that moment, I was sure that if we pulled over, we would die. I just kept repeating the phrase, "Something's not right here." He stepped on the gas. Being 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, we were the only ones on this road. Off in the distance behind us, we saw a glowing pair of LED brights. They were pulling up on us fast. Might I keep you in mind, the speed limit here was 65-70. This car was going at least 85-90. And this driver was none other than the cop from before. This cop, again, no sirens or lights, sped right past us and off into the distance. Something in my gut told me that whoever was in that car was feeling the same way I was. Nothing changed for a bit. My boyfriend talked me down and I was calm, but then suddenly I felt the terror again. It was stronger than ever. I started having a panic attack and screaming. I was crying and begging my boyfriend to leave because something was wrong. Then I looked out my window and saw them. There were 5 to 10 little creatures coming out of the woods. One looked me right in the eyes, and I knew this thing was a predator. They were a bit larger than a raccoon and walked on all fours, completely hairless. They looked humanoid and wrinkled. Imagine the top half of a Fuji mermaid, but larger and not dried out. Another way to describe them is a smaller version of the rake. They had eyes that reflected light or that glowed in the dark. They were skinny and frail looking. I screamed and I begged my boyfriend to keep driving. He obliged and he did. Eventually we left that road and got back to a more populated area of the highway. He pulled over and began to comfort me. I was having a panic attack. I tried to tell him what I saw, but I just couldn't. I told him I saw a malformed raccoon. He just laughed it off. We returned to my house and I was terrified. I had explained to my mother that something was wrong with that road. She shrugged it off, but allowed my boyfriend to stay the night, which made me feel better that he didn't have to leave and got to stay at my house away from the woods and those things. My dad, whom we told about the cop, said that the cop was just trying to rouse us, that the cop was hoping we'd make a mistake and they could ticket us. I'm not sure if that's true. I called my best friend today. She is Ojibwe, who practices the beliefs and culture. When we were talking, I couldn't help but spill. I told her about the creatures in the woods and the cop and the trash bags. She sounded worried. She said the trash bags were most likely from people who volunteer to clean the highways, which I can agree with. They were clear bags. I could see trash in them. She was worried about the creatures. She started asking me questions. She asked if I was on my period. She asked about the spiritual healing practice my mother takes me to. She asked if I tried to contact a spirit or if I had tried to play with something dead. I told her about the natural healing my mother has me doing NAET for my allergies, and that I hadn't tried to play with the dead. I told her that that day was the day after my period had just finished. She told me in a concerned voice that the NAET may have opened my third eye and that those creatures may have been attracted to me because of my period. She told me that she was going to give me sage and that I needed to use it. She asked me to redraw what I saw, and I did. I sent the picture to her, and she said that it was weird, but that I should be safe. I am still shaken up. Those things wanted me and were out for blood. I don't think I'll ever go back there again.
We're going to call Galina Rin of Death Inglorious. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, we got a delay, don't we? I knew we would.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I need you to speak up a little more, get a little closer to are you on the phone, I assume?
I'm on the phone.
You're on the phone, okay.
I'm on the phone, yeah.
Okay, I need you to speak up just a little louder. I am pronouncing that right.
Hello.
I am pronouncing that right. Galina Rin?
Sorry?
I am pronouncing that right. Galina Rin?
Galina, yeah.
Okay, and Death
That's
Inglorious.
Correct, yes.
And of the band Death Inglorious. Give us a little history on Death Inglorious.
It's Death Ingloria with an A,
Ingloria.
not an S.
Okay, pardon me, yeah.
No worries. Yeah, so I knew I was going to be alone in this project when I started it, so I wanted something to be on stage with me because I'm going to be a girl singing and playing guitar alone. So I created animated stories to go behind it. and then that became a comic book.
Right.
So now we create comic books and rock music about the end of humanity.
Right.
And we animate the comic book into the music videos and project it on stage. And it's sci-fi stories about the end of humanity, and everybody dies. Everybody's wiped out completely.
Right. Okay.
Not one person left alive,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's always humanity's fault.
Wow. And is this your first album?
No, it's the second.
The second
We've just
one.
released our second album.
Just the second one. Okay, that's
Yeah, I always say we. I'm the only. Yeah.
Yeah. The two that we have, it was we use it as a weapon, and the other was, if I'm trying to recall, I can't think of it now. That is correct.
Battle Station. Probably.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Battle Station. So
Battle
those are
Stations.
both off the new album, which is released in August.
There you go. We've got those, and we will be playing those two for you guys right after this interview. I think you obviously you have a website. You can also be found on Bandcamp, right?
Yep, we are on all platforms. Just pick a platform, we're on it.
All right. Where are you actually located at? Where are you out of?
Oh, I am in London, but I'm from Northern Ireland.
Okay. Yeah, I detected a little accent there. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I bet it's beautiful in Ireland there, huh?
Yeah, I like to think of my accent. Well, I'm not in Ireland, but
Yeah.
I like to think of my accent as being mid-Atlantic.
Right. And oddly enough, it doesn't come across like a lot of singers. When you're singing, the accent's not there. That's really weird to me. Very strange. But our show is based on.
Oh, most people think I'm American.
Right.
Yeah.
Our show, the genre is based on metal and 80s rock, that kind of thing. New metal sometimes. Yours is a little bit different there. The first time I heard the one that you sent Michelle, I was kind of like, that sounds like something from the 80s, early 90s, like the pop rock genre. You know what I mean? It doesn't really sound like the first two to me, but it sounds good. Don't get me wrong, I like it. It sounds really good. But we'll include that as well. Wow, and your albums can be picked up, like you say, on Bandcamp, and you've got a website, and just really cool. I mean, I'm glad to have you guys aboard. I'm glad to have you part of the show here. Ticket sales are doing well, even though we've been going through this pandemic.
We had 3 shows in July. The album launch did really well. And then that was all we played in July because it was just difficult to get people to come out, but they were well attended even before that. And we're in negotiation for a tour next year, so I'm just going to spend the rest of the year getting our live stream stuff up and running because we were live streaming for the last year and a half anyway.
Right.
So we've got a couple of programs that we run on streams, and then I'll be doing original live stream shows, gigs and such like. Right. Where I'll be performing in our comic book environment. So it's all pretty graphic heavy.
Right.
And then just prepping for a tour next year where we're doing hopefully be doing a support tour for another band who I can't name right now because we're still in negotiations.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Your comic books, can they be picked up individually, or do they come as a package deal with your CDs, or how does that work?
You can buy them individually. If you buy the digital version, you get the digital comic book with the album.
Okay.
Or that you can buy the physical versions as well.
Right.
But we don't sell our album on CD. Our new album comes in comic book, digital, and ID card.
ID
and that's
card.
It.
ID card. Now, what is that? I'm not familiar with that. What do you mean ID card?
Yeah, so there's a special part of our website that you can only get to if you scan the QR code on a ID card.
Okay.
So it comes on a lanyard, an ID card, and the album cover is an ID card of our main character. So the album's called Death by Admin.
Right. Now I get you now. I see where you're going with that. Well, when do you plan on going on tour, and how far reaching will you be?
Oh, it'll be UK only.
Oh, UK only?
It'll be UK only.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, like, we'll be doing a lot of live streams. So, like, we have, for example, a fan party that we have in December where we just invite the fan base.
Right.
And that will be live streamed as well. So there's lots of live streams people can get involved with on Twitch and things like that.
Okay.
We play science fiction conventions quite a lot across the world. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's really cool. It's, you know, and hopefully you'll be able to do that again. I mean, with things trying to get back to normal, but who knows? You know.
Yeah, it'll be a couple of years yet, I think.
Yeah. At least. Okay, well, you know, we're going to cut it short here. I know we're just going to talk for a few minutes and introduce yourself, and afterwards, like I said, we're going to play a few of the tracks from Death and Gloria. So you guys get ready to check it out. Get ready to listen to this. I really like the songs. I think we may have played one or two before in the past. But check it out. You can always go to the websites. You can go to Bandcamp. Your website is what, by the way? deathandgloria.com. Okay, yeah. And you're on Facebook as well. Right?
We're everywhere.
You're everywhere. All right, yeah. So any of your social media then. Yeah, any social media, any app you prefer, I suppose you can look up Death and Gloria and they'll be right there. Right?
Yep, that's right. deathandgloria.com will link you to everything as well.
There you go. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on, and we're going to have you back on again too, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you very much, Galina, and this show will air not this Sunday, but next Sunday, if you want to give it a listen.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you very much.
again.
Send us a link and I'll share it out.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, thank you.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This all-consuming need that don't breathe. Look what we've got. Do I surrender my time, surrender my life for something you don't see? Do I surrender my heart, surrender my home for a cause you don't even believe? And as we man this battle station, I hope you know, if it was up to me, you'd never make it home.
Yo, what's going on, guys? This is your man Vincent M. Ward, and you're listening to The Dead Zone.
I'm dragged till I'm deaf and blind. I have no faith in it does me alright. Could never make me any better than you. Do you think we could find some relief between our opposing philosophies? I just don't think the same as you do. It doesn't matter what you say, when you look me in the eyes, you blow me away. Why would you need another reason to burn it all down? Can't we be good for another day? We just burn it to the ground. Use it as a weapon, yeah, we use it as a weapon, yeah. We use it as a weapon. We use it as a weapon.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They crawl all over your dirty snout, your chest. My name is David Walton. I am a vocal performer for What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal show. And I have carried the burden of a terrible secret. I am actually what is offensively called a ghost. For years now I have concealed my ectoplasmic existence from my friends and family, in fear of a common prejudice against ghosts, or what we like to call the disembodied. I have existed frightened of being discovered, unable to do physical acts that the embodied take for granted, such as walking a squirrel or drinking a glass of vitamin E milk fresh squeezed from a whale. I grew depressed and even considered acts of self-harm or reincarnation, which is suicide for the disembodied. Such movies as Ghostbusters and its sequels drove my feelings of disenfranchisement, and I began looking for help, only to encounter painful exorcisms in the houses I haunted. Then I met two good people, it says here, Fox and Phil, at What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal. And they helped me take control of my own life. Now, it is my choice whether I wish to make phantom bangs in the night, appear at the foot of your bed in darkness, or make your walls bleed. If you are a disembodied person like I am, and you're living a lie, What Are You Afraid Of can help you too. They are on at 9 p.m. on Friday nights at Para X Radio, leaving plenty of time for midnight haunting activities, and can be found on all major podcast services. Listen to their paranormal stories, interviews, humorous sketches and horror fiction to know that you are not alone. And if you are a member of the embodied, don't forget, you are only a single heart attack or tumour away from becoming one of us. This is David Walton. See you on the other side. Or as I call it, this side. And that is the end of a perfect day.
Okay, and now back to business.
If all radio stations in town were palm trees, we'd be the one with the biggest coconuts.
Now, here are the one, the only
Dead Zone.
Okay, we're going to call George again. We just hung up. We had some audio issues. He couldn't hear me. When he could hear me, I sounded mechanical. And when I could hear him, he sounded like he was underwater. So, we're going to try it one more time. Are you good?
Okay, I took it off speaker and I'm just holding the phone.
Okay, now it sounds good. Now can you hear me? Do I still sound mechanical?
Not as bad.
Okay. All right. Well, as I explained, we had some audio issues, so we're trying it again, and this one actually sounds a lot better. Our old buddy George Lunsford. And welcome back. It's been a while, like I said. We did a little talking about catching up and what's been going on, and George is going to go on a Bigfoot hunt here shortly. And tell us about that now.
Well, I got a message from a guy, and he has had a Bigfoot near his house, and he asked me to come out with him and go see if we can find it.
Right. And this will be your first adventure-wise, looking for Bigfoot, looking for evidence, right? It's going to be exciting. I'm sure it will be.
It is, yes.
Right, and like I said,
oh yeah, and I'll go ready for it.
Oh yeah, take your camera, yeah, for sure.
George, camera, plaster Paris, and a pistol.
Oh yeah. For those you don't know, George is an actor and producer, a director, and a writer. He has several books out, and one is coming out here. Is it out already, or is it coming out? It's the trailer for it. It's spanning the four corners of the United States, and that involves the cryptids and that kind of thing. Go on and explain that to us.
Well, this is the fourth book in the series. This covers the west area from New Mexico all the way up to Montana and everything west. I included 4 stories from the Inuit people, and I included I think it's 6 or 7 stories from overseas.
Okay.
And each story is actually born in the state that I tell about.
Right. And these stories come from they're verified stories by these people, I assume, right? I mean, you're not,
they're just stories like you hand down. Like my whole thing is, I wanted to do these because when I was young, the older people would pass down stories to us,
right?
And then we would go out as young kids and go investigate these things.
Right.
That's what I want to give back to everybody now. I want to give them back stories from their states. So, maybe starts conversations with kids and their parents, and they go check this stuff out.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's really cool. Like myth, legends, and the folklore. Everything has a basis. What's the word I'm trying to look for? Basis in fact, right? It starts somewhere. Something started that.
Yes, sir.
And this is kind of taking that a step further, and giving you guys some really cool stories. And the first book, that entails what? Just the same thing.
The first is the Southern edition,
right? It's the same thing. It's just the United States quartered. The cryptids in that particular part of
a quarter of the United States. I put one quarter in each book.
Right. Okay. So yeah, man. You guys, if you live in that zone and you want to learn more about your cryptids and what's going on there, check it out. And you can get them on Amazon, right?
You can get them on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore online.
Any bookstore online. There you go. And you go to your website, right?
You can go to my website, and it gives you links to everything.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I'm even to the point right now that if they want to send it to me, I'll sign them.
There you go.
Send them back to them.
Get an autographed copy. How cool is that? All right, man. That's really cool. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a good time with this investigation you have coming up. I hope you'll let us know what, if anything, you find out. Or you find.
Oh, I will definitely let everyone know. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. And that would also be a good selling point as far as meet and greets and selling your books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because usually everybody wants to know about my ghost encounters, and they want to know about the UFO sightings I had, and the Bermuda Triangle, and when I died and come back and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Tell us about that. Tell us about your... Oh, okay. Let's make it easy. I think we've done this before. I do this with most everyone. Your most memorable encounter, and one that scared the crap out of you as far as a ghost encounter.
Well, the funny thing is, I've never had a scary encounter with a ghost.
Okay.
The freakiest one is when I was driving down the road, and I could feel something beside me in the seat.
Right.
And for an instant, when I looked over, there was somebody sitting there.
Okay, yeah.
But I could still hear the voice even though they weren't there.
Right. I think we talked about this the last time you were on, didn't we? Yeah. Go ahead. What did they say?
And they were just telling me, asking me questions about the accident that they were in, and just want to know what was going on. And I tried to explain to them, you've passed away. You died in the accident. You can cross on over. Go ahead on over, and everything will be okay.
Right.
But it was an interesting conversation driving down the interstate at 70 miles an hour.
Right. Oh, at 70 miles an hour too. Yeah, that can be kind of a make you want to spaz out a little bit, and that's kind of a deadly speed to do that, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Wow. And I'm assuming, of course, it was at night too.
Of course, it's always at night.
Right. It seems like anyway. Right. Okay. What about?
We.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go right ahead, please.
Oh, so we had a really cool encounter here in the house. Me and my wife. We had bought a Ring camera and put it on our front door.
Right.
And from our front porch, we got a big long porch, and then it goes off. Well, if you're looking out the Ring, you can see side of the house. Something human-shaped fog come out of the side of the house, stopped in front of the Ring, and it looked like it turned its head and looked at the Ring.
Yeah.
and then it turned back around and walked straight off our porch and just disappeared.
That's weird. And
it was
transparent.
wild.
And it was transparent, right? You could see through it. It was like a haze, foggy haze, but you could tell it was a human shape.
Yeah, but it had a human shape, yeah.
That's wild. That's great. It's too bad you don't have cameras up and caught that on camera.
It was on our ring, but for some reason when we went back to look at it,
and it wasn't there.
Each time we looked at it, it was parts missing out of it.
Okay. That's weird. And each different frame, there was a different part missing from this form.
Yeah.
So it could be
yes, sir.
What's the word I'm looking for? Cross-dimensional. It's coming in and out, and each frame was catching a different part of it, right? Something like that. Does that make any sense to you at all? I know it.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Well, keep that footage. You never know. All right. Maybe.
Well,
maybe there's a way.
It got erased.
Oh man.
I think I hit the wrong button on there and erased it.
Oh no. I was gonna suggest.
I am not
tech savvy.
Go ahead.
You're not tech savvy.
No, I'm not tech savvy at all.
I was gonna say maybe
my wife's the one that does all that.
Right. I was gonna say maybe there would have been a way to take that footage, put it into a program, and go frame by frame and grab those different frames, and then piece them together on top of each other to complete that form, so you could really see what you're looking at. You know, that's weird. Anyway,
yeah.
Too late now. It's gone. So,
well, you can't let me mash buttons on anything. I'll break it every time. So,
all right. Where were you at when you saw your first UFO? And how do you know it was a UFO? I mean, what, you know?
I was on my ship. I'm in the Navy. We were right dead in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
There was nothing on radar, nothing on sonar, nothing around anywhere.
Okay.
And if you're on a ship, from my ship I can see to the horizon is 10 miles.
Yeah.
And I was on aft lookout, and we seen, me and the forward lookout seen a thing of lights above the water, and we started watching it. It was probably maybe 8 miles away.
Yeah.
And it just made a ring of lights, and it was moving back and forth, side to side. So we reported it, and they never did have it on radar. Nothing ever picked up on radar, sonar, or anything. And it just moved back and forth. And we watched it for probably 5 minutes. It would move back and forth. It would stop. It would move a little bit, move back and forth, stop and move a little bit, move back. Like it was searching for something.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And all of a sudden that thing, it lit real bright, and it shot straight up in the air and disappeared.
Oh, it did go straight up.
They never got it on radar or sonar or nothing.
Wow. That's crazy. It was, like you say, it was.
Oh, yeah, we've had some adventures.
It's like a back and forth search pattern, and then evidently, maybe it noticed that it was being watched, and that's when it looked directly at you. That's why the lights got brighter and it shot away. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. That's really
I don't know. It was just a really weird experience.
That's really cool. And that was how
long ago? But out in the ocean, you always have weird experiences.
I bet, yeah. And that was how many years ago? That had to have been a couple of years ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was in 86?
Yeah. Right. I was going to say, we're probably about the same age.
86 or 87.
Yeah, we're more than likely about the same age.
Yeah, I'm 54.
Yeah, well, there you go. Me too. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only time, though. Just that time.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only time. Okay. Cool. Okay, nice.
Now, we seen one recently, too.
Okay.
It was kind of weird. Was coming back from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
and my wife seen something was at 35,000 feet. My wife looked out and seen a shiny thing that looked like a little cigar out there above the clouds, moving with the airplane.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know, 5-8 miles away or whatever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was watching it. She hit me and she goes, "Look at that!" And I was looking at this metallic thing going through the air, and she reached down to get her phone to take a picture.
Yawn.
And it just gone. It just disappeared.
All right. Weird things, man. Weird things. My wife and my son is talking of weird things. On their way, I think they were they were either going to Terre Haute or coming back from Terre Haute, and it was like dusk. They saw what she called like a bat-winged creature with feet flying just straight up. They both saw it, and they both swear it wasn't a bat, it wasn't a bird.
Oh, cool.
And it wasn't a crane, but it was something like a humanoid figure with bat wings that just shut right in front of the car. And I was like, okay.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That is, it's really weird. But then to top that off, on my way home, we've got a substation here, and you go from the substation to where you turn into the lake road, and that's maybe a quarter of a mile. And it was dusk again. It's past dusk. Right in front of me, right in between there, in between the substation and the road to turn onto, right in front of my car, I saw. I mean, it was quick too. A big flash, just big grayish brown bat wings, followed by two smaller ones. I mean, like went by like that, and I couldn't see them after that.
Oh man,
that was so weird. I wish I knew what that was. There's no way it was like a wood crane, or we don't have giant bats here, so I have no idea. Very cool though. Very weird.
That's cool.
That is cool.
That is cool.
I wish we could have more encounters like that, but take what you can get.
I'd love that. That would be. I want to go up to West Virginia and see it go to where the Mothman and stuff was.
Yeah.
I haven't been up there yet.
Right. Now, we've been there a couple of times. We went there with the Ames team and did their merchandise and that kind of thing. I don't think they're going back this year either. But we were there. We never saw anything. Of course, we never went to the ammo dump or not dump. What am I thinking of? The all right,
bunkers.
There you go. Yeah, my brain just left. Yeah, I went to the bunkers and everything. Yeah, but that's an interesting story too. I mean, they have sightings in Chicago that they're supposedly this Mothman creature or Mothman-like creature.
I'm getting ready to go back up there. I'm going to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. It'd be, if you could get a photo, it'd be wonderful. But everybody would debunk it and say it's Photoshop. So it's so hard nowadays to really get any real evidence that people will believe. People will believe you. But like I say, it is what it is.
That's for sure.
It is what it is. Yeah, man, no, that's great though. Take your digital recorder with you too when you go on this Bigfoot hunt, and maybe you'll get a call back or something. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Hey, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool. Very cool. All right, man.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to this.
That's only a couple of weeks, right? A couple of weeks away. You said in October, right?
Yeah. I'm figuring. Yeah, probably towards middle to end of October. I'm gonna let temperature change, get a little cooler first.
Yeah. Oh, and it is too.
I got to think about snakes. So.
Oh, do you? You don't like snakes? I don't care for them either. We live on a lake out here, and they seem to be fond of it. They've got one. I don't know where.
Well, this is the time the copperheads have their babies. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What I was going to say is I had posted a photo to my personal Facebook page. My son came in and said, "Dad, I think there's a snake in the downspout." So I went out there, of course, and yeah, of course it was. I don't know what it was. I don't know what kind it was, but it was looped around from inside the downspout, going up into the siding, under the siding. And by the time I could get something to get him out of there,
no!
Yeah, by the time I could get to it, it was already in there. It was gone. Like, oh shoot!
Oh no!
Yeah, so as far as I know, he's still up there. That's crazy. And
you give me the creeps. That's worse than Bigfoot.
We get the big black corn snakes and big rat snakes out here too. I mean, of course, a rat snake's not going to hurt you, but they're huge. I mean, we've had like 2 or 3 come down off the hill and go through the yard, go across the yard, a good 6 foot long, easy, you know, and quick as lightning too.
Oh man,
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well, that'll be something for. Oh,
well, I'm lucky right now. We've got about 50 turkey that stays in my yard.
Yeah,
that they take care of all that stuff.
Do they? That's cool. You're talking about turkeys. Michelle just came home today and said that she saw something flying about a foot off the ground. A whole bunch of them, she said, as she was coming down the driveway, and they all went on the side of a hill and followed each other up the hill. By the time she got her camera out to take a picture, they were gone. I said, yeah, it's probably turkeys, because we have wild turkeys out here. And she looked it up, and sure enough, it was. She just didn't realize.
Oh yeah.
She didn't know they were turkeys because, you know, it's early in the season and they haven't put on their weight yet. So little skinny boys.
Well, ours has got a lot of weight because I feed them.
Oh, okay.
I feed the wild turkey and the wild deer.
Okay. That's amazing.
All the babies that was made this year, they're about half grown now.
Yeah, that's amazing that you keep a trail cam up out there by your feeder and see what comes across that thing. Might be surprised. You know what I mean?
Well, right now the feeder is me. I carry it back there in a bowl.
Oh, I thought you had a feeder back there. All right, man. Okay.
Not yet. After Christmas, I'll have a feeder. So.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, good Christmas gift. Yeah, man. Take your recorder.
Oh yeah.
Take your digital recorder with you. I wish I could speak, and just getting worse. Older I get. Anyway, buddy George.
Hey, you're doing a good job.
George Lunsford, man, our good buddy. Thank you for coming on the show. And the website is George. Go ahead. I'll let you do it.
Oh, author George Lunsford.
There you go.
.x10host.com.
There you go. And that's where you can pick up the books. And if I'm not mistaken, you've got some film credits too, right?
Yeah, I've got a page on IMDb. I've done all kinds of stuff. I ain't quite right in the head.
Well, that's what makes it fun, right? That's what makes it fun. If it turns into a job, then quit doing it. You know what I mean? Do something you like.
That's it.
All right.
I love it all. That's my problem.
All right, man. I want to thank you for coming back on the show, and we're going to have you back on again, especially going to have you back on and talk to us about your Bigfoot adventure. And maybe I'm going to try. I
appreciate it very much.
I'm going to see if I can't get at least a couple of the boys from Ames to come on at the same time and let them in on what you've found.
Cool. I'd love to talk to them.
That'd be cool. All right. Thank you very much again, everybody. George Lunsford. Go pick up the book. Check it out. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you.
Bye. Hey, this is Lee. If you missed tonight's show or any other show, you can always check them out in the archives on the Para-X Radio Network, or you can go to our website and click on any of your favorite apps. This is the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
Thanks for listening.